I wanted to show you what I was doing with my Quilts for Kids quilt. I already started on it, and I was gonna film the whole process, but I'm just gonna film bits and pieces because I don't want to make these videos too long. But when you get your Quilts for Kids kit, it comes with everything you need. And instructions. So you'll get your strips depending on what style quilt they send you. You'll get, for this particular pattern, I got my 4 strips that are going to form these blocks. And then I get my border fabric. This is my small border fabric, and then a large border fabric, which is what they call the focus fabric, because it is also repeated here in the quilt block, and so it would be separated by your small border. So it would be something like that. So that kind of gives you an idea of what the finished quilt will look like, I guess. So, and then they include the backing and a little label to sew on when I'm done. So I am not going to be needing these right now. I'm working on the strips. So you'll get instructions in your kit on how to do this. So on here it says strip pieces together, 4 different 2-inch strips, and it'll make 5 of these strip sets. So that's what I'm doing right now. So here's my strips that came in my kit. And what I'm going to do is it's these 2 and these 2, right? Yeah. I'm going to chain piece these through just to make it faster. And my finished quilt will look, or my finished strip sets will be like this. Okay, these 2 fabrics here, the blue and the green. Oh, you guys aren't even, it's not even in frame. There we go. So the blue fabric and the green fabric, in my case, in the kit that they sent me, are actually the same fabric, just in different colors. So I'm having those on the outsides of the quilt strip set, and then these 2 are in the middle. So I'm going to refer to this one that I did earlier just to remember the order that I sewed them together, just so all of them turn out the same. So I'm going to be pairing the blue with the floral, and then I'm going to do strips of the red and the green, and then when I get all those done, I will join the red with the floral, and it'll form a strip of these, and it'll be all like this, and then I'm going to cut them apart. So I'm going to start with these 2. So I'm going to set these aside. I'm not going to worry about those right now. And I'm also not going to cut off my salvage edges, because when I trim them later, I'm going to cut my salvages off anyways to square up my blocks. So I'm just going to get these ready. Okay? And it's going to make everything go a lot faster when I do the actual sewing. Line these fabrics up, and the salvage edge on this blue fabric is a lot thinner than the salvage of this, but I'm still going to line them up. Line it up like that, and then hold it carefully. Just take a couple stitches and then stop with your needle down. And then I'm just going to stop every so often and make sure they're lined up. And I'm just sewing a straight seam all the way down. Okay, so when I come to the end, instead of cutting it from the machine and then starting the next one, I'm chain piecing them. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to take my next strip set, and I'm going to do just like I did before. I'm going to line them up, make sure we're good, and I'm going to feed it in. And what happens is it leaves this little chain of thread between the two strips, and that's just going to keep them together. So you don't have to stop and cut your thread and pull it out with every strip, and that's going to save you a lot of time. You don't think that that takes a lot of time, but it does. It also will actually, 1 inch at a time, save you thread, because when you pull your fabric out and then cut it, you're pulling like a 5-inch, tail out of your machine and then starting fresh again. And so that's like a 1/2 inch of string. That's all it took. So, or thread, rather, not string. Okay, so I chain pieced all of my strips together. Both of my little sets. I'm going to move my machine out of the way. And so they're all chained together, this big pile of strips. I'm going to try to find an end here. And then we're going to cut them apart. I'm going to be pressing my seams open. I'm not going to press them open, but I'm going to be pressing towards the dark. So I'm going to be pressing it open like this. Okay. So what I do before I press it open is I'm going to set my seams. That's going to set those stitches into place. And that's important to get a nice crisp seam. Give you a chance to go over your fabric with a quick press. So this is cotton, so I just have my iron on the cotton setting. Okay, no steam. The moisture from the steam could distort your fabric. I guess you probably would want to be seeing what I'm doing, huh? Okay, so I've set my thread, and I'm not working, see, let me do some more. I'm not like doing a bunch of this and pushing real hard. You kind of just let your iron do the work and just glide it across. Every once in a while I'll do a little quick shimmy, but it's really slow. So you pick this up and you're just going to let your iron push it open. And then come back. And then it helps to kind of finger press it a smidge. These fabrics are absolutely beautiful. I love them. Oops. Okay. So, I'm going to do this for all of my strips, and every one of them I'm going to open the same way so that my seams on the back are all facing this dark fabric. Okay, so I got my big old strip set together. So the 2 sets of strips that I had sewed together, then I had sewed them together here, pressed it open, and now you get this. So any size strip sets that you are using, let's say these were 3-inch strips that you sewed together, it's really, really easy to find out how to square these off. Okay, and I don't always go by what the directions say, like make sure they're 6.5-inch squares, or make sure they're this, or make sure they're that. Here's what I do. I measure the height of my strip. In this case, I've got my cutting mat, and these are all 1-inch increments on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6 inches tall, this strip. So now I know that I need to cut them 6 inches this way to make a 6-inch square. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this salvage edge so that everything is nice and square. So on my mat, I'm just going to line my fabric up with this line right here. And I've got this over, and I'm cutting off about 1 inch to get all of those jaggedy, raggedy salvage edges off. So now I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Measure twice, cut once. I'm going to make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. So just place my ruler along that line. Get out my rotary cutter. Now if you're a lefty, this might look a little different. But then now you have your 6-inch square. Now it looks a little odd. Right now it looks like the blue and the green are wider than these two middle strips. And for now that's true because they don't have a seam on them yet. But once we put them together, then they'll all be the same. So again, we're just going to go 6 in and cut. And that's it. So in a little under an hour, I have all of my blocks for the Quilts for Kid quilt. I'll be able to sew all of these together probably tomorrow. And then the hard part is waiting for payday to buy the batting so that I can finish this quilt. So it's a super, super easy project. So how I'm going to lay them out, it's going to be really easy. I'm just going to lay them like this. I want all my greens in this row facing up and to the left. So they're touching like that. Up like that. And like that. So that's 4, and you need 5. I believe they want you to do rows of 5. So once you get all your strips cut, then or your strip sets cut into blocks, then you can move on to the next step, which I will do my next step tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates on my Quilts for Kids quilt. Bye guys.